so welcome to the first UBass Live of 2024. Once again, I just thought I'd play a little bit while people were signing on. So that song's called Green Tea. It's an original. So if you're not familiar with the UBass, this is a UBass with not the typical strings. This one has metal round wound strings where normally they have polyurethane strings that are more like rubber bands. I've got one right here, ironically the double neck, that's got those. They have a little bit different of a tone, but anyway, I thought I would just come into the new year and play a little bit of songs. If you have any questions about UBasses or just anything else, or if you have a song request or a genre request, I can try to come up with a jam or at least come up with a bass line. I don't have the loop pedal hooked up today. Couldn't find it in time. But yep, that's kind of what's going on. So if you have any questions, just let it go in the chat and I will get to it when as soon as I can. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, I guess this new year, I don't have too many goals planned out. I want to play as many gigs as I can. Last year I played a bunch of weddings, more than one a week when you average it out. And then I played a lot of different holiday gigs. So there were a few Christmas parties, for instance. There were, New Year's Eve was a wedding this time. And then we played July 4th, I believe. And then we played, a couple of the other holidays as well. So playing wise, I want to do as much playing as I did last year or even more. I don't have any specific goals in mind, but maybe one of them would be the same as last year, to get better at sight reading music. So raising the level of what I'm sight reading. So like right now, there's still certain things I can't sight read, which basically what sight reading is if they put the sheet of music in front of your face, you can just play it down without really having to like look through it and figure everything out for too long. So right now I can sight read on a certain level, but it's not a super high level. Sometimes it's a high enough level to play certain musical shows where basically I would look through the book and find the hardest stuff and learn that, and then basically sight read the things that aren't as difficult. But that's a goal I have of mine, I think, is to get back into reading a little bit more and do a little bit more of it regularly. And then a non-musical goal, just for kicks, I'm going to learn Japanese. So I've been working on it a little bit already. It's not really a New Year's resolution. I'm just continuing something I started last year. So I think it'd be really cool to go to Japan and actually be able to speak some of the language. So that's an idea. And then, yeah, other than that, there are a few UBasses that I do want to review this year. So I'm hoping to get to the Kala solid body lineup, just whichever ones that I can find to review. Being able to do that for you guys. It'd be really cool to get one of the fretless ones to review, but the fretted ones are cool as well. The other day I was at Uke Republic, and they had a flight bass ukulele that wasn't the colorful one that I'd reviewed before. It was actually a different model, and this one looked more like a jazz bass. So what I may do is I may go over there and do a review of each one of them and then compare the two. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let me know, give me a like, and let me know in the comments if there's anything that you've heard about or seen in the UBass world that you would like to see more of. Okay. And then I guess right now, until I see more comments, so far I don't see any, so that may be an issue on my side, but if not, then I'm just going to wait for more people to join in and just see what you guys have questions about or what you guys want to hear. And up until then, I guess I'll just kind of make stuff up. So if you have, you could also comment what your goals are for this year, like your musical goals or just your goals in general. It's that time of year to kind of come up with resolutions, so feel free to put those in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna try to make something up with this little technique where you go down and up with the thumb. It's a Victor Wooten thing, and then you pluck after it. Hi Steve, how's it going? All right, here we go. Ethan says, happy 2024. My goals for the year are more reading and more playing my instruments. Really hope you'll be able to review the new Kala basses. Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm thinking that should be coming up soon. I'm hoping to at least get the filming part done this month and then have that out to you guys hopefully later this month, but maybe possibly in February. And the other goal that I have, I mean, I'm basically almost there, but I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I was trying to do it by the end of 2023, but I didn't quite get there. I think I'll get there by February, sometime in February, but my goal right now is to get there in January. So that's kind of another goal too. But yeah, I'm planning to do a few more review videos this year and more lesson videos too. I do have a Patreon request for a member, so I know that Come Together is going to be on the list of things that will get done pretty soon this year as well. And you know, if you become a Patreon member, you get a request. That's kind of how that works. So at least for now. So it's still like that for now. But I'm still debating if I'm gonna do just like the bass line or if I'm gonna try to do the I don't know if I'm gonna do all that stuff or not. And I gotta figure out what the melody really is, because apparently I sort of know it. I'm not doing all of it. I'll try to like come up with something a little bit on here. Maybe we'll get to see what it turns into later. What was it? I want to hear. Let's see. I'm trying to think for a second. That didn't work. I guess I forgot what key I was in. Almost. Let's try that again. Another verse. I'll get there. Yeah, so basically that's kind of coming up. I may do it that way because the bass line will still be in there. So for the people that want to learn the bass line, they'll still get that. And I'll probably do it the correct way because I was watching a Scott's Bass Lessons video, and they had, you don't go boom, 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 you don't hit a third note. You just go. So I'll probably do that. Yeah, I don't think I can do the bass line within the melody like that. Might be a little bit too much to make it like a little bit too busy. But if you're curious as to how I come up with the arrangements, a lot of times what I do is I figure out the melody, which so far I don't have the entire melody on this one figured out. I just have kind of parts of it. And then I take the bass line, and first I just take the root notes and kind of try to put the melody against the root notes of the chords. But then sometimes I'll go back and add a little bit more of the bass line to it. So like, for instance, here, I was trying to do that, right? So I have the bass line and then the melody. Come together. See, I don't have the last notes of the melody quite in my head right. Come together, come together, together. together right now, now. Come together right now over me. Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of what I do to come up with an arrangement. So I'm working on that one a little bit, just trying to work out the kinks in it and figuring out if I want to have like a backbeat in there, you know, like so. Because really, the song doesn't have a backbeat there. The drums are really going like boom, boom, da 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 da. And I don't think I want to do all that on here. Let's see. No, that's hard to do. So I'll probably just do that. But anyway, yeah, you have that slide in there, which is probably the coolest part of that. But on the U-bass, that may be a hard slide to do, because unless you have metal strings, sometimes the string bunches up by the time you slide that far, and it'll make the note flat. So instead of being like boom, 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 it'll be like boom, boom, boom. It won't be quite as high of a pitch. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind when you're playing. You may, instead of doing a really long slide, want to shortchange it for a short slide. Like that kind of thing. Which is how I was playing at the beginning of this video. Well, this is way cooler with that long slide. But yeah, anyway, so I've got that coming down the pike. And just some other things coming up. So if you have any other questions, suggestions, or if you want to put your goals in the comments, I think I'm just going to recap my goals. Mainly they were to get better at sight reading, because that's a big thing for me. So I'll probably really have to like turn that goal into reality by saying I'm going to do a certain amount of it each day. So with learning Japanese, which is another goal, the Japanese Duolingo kind of helps me stay regular on that. I almost wish there was like a reading app, basically, that just gets progressively harder each day, but just puts a couple things in front of you and you can choose to do more or less. So it'd be kind of cool if someone made like a Duolingo for sight reading, and then you just pick your instrument, pick your clef, and go for it. And so all you really have to do is, as far as bass goes, just pick bass clef and just go for it. But yeah, that'd be an interesting app if they would make that. And then Ethan says, never thought about the fact with the strings not being metal and shortening. Interesting. Sounds good so far, though. Definitely looking forward to seeing that. Okay, so I want to demonstrate that too. But yeah, so like let's say you're sliding into this note. So let me slide there and see if it ends up being that pitch. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I slid up there. If I let go of it and then play the note, it's higher. So you can kind of tell that if you like have a really long slide like that, it's not going to sound quite right. And I think some of this is out of tune too, but instead of being, it ended up sounding more like when I slid there. So, versus on here. And I know this one's louder because I have it plugged through the amp and the other one's not plugged through the amp. So that's not a metal string and a polyurethane string difference. Sorry, it's hard to say. But yeah, so that's coming up. And then, like I said, more review videos, sight reading stuff. So maybe I could figure out how to, I wish I could do some like sight reading practice videos for you guys. So that might be just like an introduction to reading. We'll see. That's an idea that I might do a little bit later on in the year. But for now, I go out of books and stuff too. So when I teach lessons, sometimes I'll use this book. It's the Hal Leonard Bass Method Complete Edition. The cool thing about it is it's basically teaching you notes most of the time, but every now and then it'll add tabs just to make it a little bit easier if something's pretty hard to do. Or if there's a specific way that they want you to play it, like a specific place on the neck. But yeah, I wonder if I can sight read this. It's called Do It Now. Let's see how that goes if I try to sight read it. Okay, I see that it's in E flat, so it looks like this, just for the record. Okay, so it's in E flat major or C minor. It looks like it says starts and ends on a C. I'm thinking C minor. And then the rhythms are 16th note rhythms. So let's see if I can get this right. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and... Ooh, I messed that up. Yeah, so see, that's what I'm saying. Certain 16th rhythms already throw me a little bit to where I can't quite sight read them. But let me try again anyway. So this is no longer sight reading because I played the first measure. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a... Whoops. No, that was right. I don't know why I stopped. Oh, that was different. Yeah, so you get the idea. Like, I can read through it, but sight reading is a lot trickier than just reading through it. So, once again, it looks like this. 1 E and 2. So, let me point at the right things. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and So see, I pointed to that one quicker than I meant to, but that's actually a dotted eighth rest. So just like recognizing those things and kind of getting them quicker so that I'm not playing at that slow of a tempo either. Being able to do it maybe at double that speed would be a nice goal too. So that's the idea with that, is just working on reading until I get really comfortable with it. But that was a good example of what I need to work on. And then Ethan says, that's definitely something for me to keep in mind and make it a set of metal strings for my U bass. Also could be an excuse to get another bass though. Yeah, I just have several, right? So I have this fretless one, it also has flat wound strings on it. I have the double neck, which I like the double neck because that's pretty cool because you got the ukulele on the bottom. And I believe it's a concert ukulele. It might be a tenor. It might be a tenor. And then you got the U bass on top, which is kind of cool. And then obviously I have my Journeyman over here, and somewhere in a case in another room probably, unless it's in here. Which one is this? Let's see. This might be a ukulele in here. I'm not quite sure. But let's see. Yeah, that one's actually a ukulele. So anyway, I've got several instruments. It's fun just having having lots of choices. So that's kind of the idea. All right. So then the other thing is, today I had a student working on a Primus song, and that particular Primus song I can't really play on U-bass because it goes too high in the range. But after I got done teaching him, I was just kind of in a slap mode, I guess. And so I was looking up a little bit of a Mark King thing. And when Mark King does slap, he'll like slap with the thumb and then do a hard enough slap. Like he'll set the fingers against the strings with enough force to make another percussive sound. So you can do thumb and then your left hand. And so then he'll kind of combine those. Right? That kind of thing. And so I was trying to learn a pattern of his, which is harder than that. Let's see what it was. What was it? Oh, that was it. Let's see. it? That last one was supposed to be a pop. I'm trying to go off of memory, so it's not really working too well. But anyway, that's as far as I got, and then I was just trying to groove on that one measure over and over again. Let me do it that slow, and then maybe I'll get it. And that was it, but now I gotta be able to do it multiple times in a row. So a lot of times when I'm practicing, that's what I'll do. I'll start slowly, get one measure down, start grooving on that, and then try the next measure, and then add them together. But we'll kind of go through the process here. I was going a little too fast still to be able to do it 2 times in a row, but 1 time in a row was fine. Okay. Yeah, so it's like I got to a certain speed. I don't recommend when you're practicing going that rapidly. So like if you're learning something, you stay slow, you don't try to speed it up like that. I just felt like I could, so I tried and got to the point where I couldn't anymore. So that's it, and then trying to do it faster. Yeah, so it starts to sound a little bit more like him, but that's still not the speed he's at. I think he was, I think it was at this speed. So, yeah, that was it. Yeah, so it's quite quick. But I'm able to do that on these strings. I would not be able to do that as well on the rubber strings. It would probably sound pretty rough, especially if it's not plugged in. Let's see. Yeah, you don't really hear the E at all. Right? Yeah, and I don't think I have batteries in this one to plug it in, so can't quite test it with that. Wonder what happened to my Wanderer. It wandered off somewhere, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of something that's kind of fun. So maybe I'll do more slap-based videos this year too. You never know. That might be kind of fun. But for now, what would you guys like to hear, or do you have any other questions you'd like answered? Just let me know in the comments. I like doing this thing too, where I'm just kind of like playing a melody against an open D string. It's just kind of like a habit more than the song, you know. And the thing I love about it is that you can kind of go back and forth between the modes and just resolve into a new one. So you have like a major scale kind of thing. But then if I wanted to be Mixolydian, I could flat the 7th, so that'd be a C because I'm in D, right? So I really like that Mixolydian sound, which is why you hear me do that a lot. If I want to make it Dorian, I can just lower the 3rd. Just straight up minor, I'd lower the 6th as well, which means this note would end up being that note. And then if I wanted to turn it from minor into Phrygian, I'd lower the 2nd note of the scale, so instead of this note, I'd have that one. And then all the other changes I made too. So I kind of like doing that. And then if I want to make it major again, I could walk up and then resolve down to the raised third. If I want it to be major and not Mixolydian, I'd raise that seventh up. Just my normal major scale. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. But yeah, 2024. So gonna get some reviews, gonna do some of that. I was thinking about turning the whole course that I made, the beginner's course, into a single video. So basically there's already a playlist of it up, but I was thinking that it might be nice. Some people don't like dealing with the playlist aspect of things. It might be nicer to just watch a video and come back to the spot on the video that you stopped at. So I was thinking I might just put them all in a row, and then it would be like, what, a little over an hour long video or something, and then do the course that way. And then, of course, the PDF is still available on Patreon as well. Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen other people do it on other channels. I was worried that YouTube might be like, oh, you posted the same video twice, because a lot of the videos are the same. But I'm thinking if I kind of do it slightly differently, that that people might like that. But yeah, I've heard other people that make videos call it like a content marathon or something, where they just do it all in one video, and sometimes they do a what do you call it, a premiere, where you watch it together with other people, with all the people that want to watch it live when it releases. So, and then that way you can comment questions and stuff as it's going along. And then after it's live, it'll just be up after that. So I'm just going to play like a tiny little bit of a lot of different famous bass lines. Did anybody recognize that one? Don't know that one? So that's just a short little piece of one. Let me think of another one that might be well known in the bass world, but not like everywhere else. This might be known in a lot of different places. So do you know that bass line? So far we have this one. I'm gonna see if people know these. So who did this one? Okay, so that's number one, and then number two was. So then, do you know either one of those bass lines, or who made those bass lines? They're famous bass players, but or they're well-known bass players, but in the bass community. So if you know those, put that just in the comments if you want to. Number three, these are just songs that's like, I don't know, they felt like work to learn the main riff or something. So let's try this one. That one. So now we have three bass lines, and these are kind of just bass songs, I should say, more than bass lines. And then I'm gonna try to do another one. This person gets two on this list, I guess. that one. Just bass lines, or I don't, you know, they are bass lines, but they're kind of bass melodies that that people might like recognize. So far, I don't think anyone's tried to name these. So I'm gonna let people do it in the comments when this video becomes just a normal video and not while it's live. But I'll repost this later, and I'll try to post the. I'm doing what I did before, where I'm recording it with my phone as well, so that way it's not all low quality. Like, I know sometimes these live streams end up a little bit weird on the video, so I'm doing that for that reason.